All right, you guys. Welcome back, Malcolm and Ursula. It's so good to see you both. I can hardly believe that we're already in our final session. It feels like time is flying by so quickly. But I just want to let you guys know you both showed such courage and dedication over the past few weeks. And today is our final session. Um, We'll take some time to review your progress, look at your reassessment results that you guys have taken. That's the same little kind of survey that you filled out at the beginning of our sessions. And then we'll close with a special activity called the Joshua Memorial. Before we begin, how have things been going since our last meeting?
Uh, I feel things have been going significantly better. We are communicating more. Uh, we are still working through, things aren't perfect and we're working through it, but with our communication exercises, they have really helped.
All right,
Yeah, I'd say
wonderful.
the same. We're not perfect by any means, but I think we've learned a lot, learned how to like stop and then really listen before we react and not just react in the heat of the moment. And I think that's made things a lot easier.
Mhm.
That's wonderful to hear. Those are strong signs of growth. It's not in the sense that problems disappear overnight, but that you've built new patterns that can help you handle them differently than what you all were before. So, wonderful job in implementing those things and really taking the time to try and create an environment of change.
Mhm.
Um, so let's review those assessments. So you both completed the same screening assessment we used before we started counseling, including the relationship satisfaction and stress scales. And I'd like to go over those and review them with you briefly. When we began, both of your scores showed elevated stress levels and moderate relationship satisfaction. Today, I'm very happy to report that both of of your stress scores have decreased noticeably. And I mean, this is a very significant drop. I kind of haven't really seen this before, so I'm so happy to see that. Um, and your satisfaction levels have improved by several points. So, what this tells me is while you're still experiencing some daily changes, you're feeling more connected and hopeful in your relationship. So how do you guys feel kind of hearing that and kind of seeing that, well, seeing and hearing that progress is occurring?
Well, that sounds great. Because I feel like we've been putting in the effort, so I'm glad to hear that. It honestly feels really good. I can see the change. I can see the changes in myself and how I communicate as well as with Malcolm and how he's communicating. And feels like we've both been pretty
Mhm.
intentional and very supportive of each other. Mhm.
Yeah, I'd say that that's pretty accurate. We've had some stressful days, working and stuff like that. And, I don't really feel like I bring it home as much. I feel like I kind of, leave it at the door kind of thing. And, I think that we've really benefited from that, as well as, we've gotten to a better understanding between each other.
Mhm.
All
Yes.
right. Well, that's exactly the kind of progress that we aim for. So I'm glad to hear that from both of you. You guys developed both emotional awareness and practical tools that you can carry moving forward.
Mhm.
So, for instance, like the gratitude journal, taking the time out strategy, and the listen and
Mhm.
repeat communication method. Each of those represents the effort that you've invested in strengthening your bonds. And not only that, but I can really tell that you guys have like gone all in on all of the homework and things that I have given you, which is wonderful to see because sometimes um, clients cannot be as consistent with it. So sometimes it can prolong sessions. So I'm actually very pleased that you guys made a commitment in order to, in order to better your relationship, better your bond, better your life, your stress. All of it goes hand in hand. But not only that, but even if like that you get further down the line, a few months, a few years, and you're like, well, I think we need to revisit counseling. I also just want to say there's no shame in that. At every point in your life, sometimes you need assistance. So if you need to reach out for those that assistance again, excuse me, even though today is our last session, just for the time here, definitely feel free to reach out. I'm always here for you. Even if you would like a different counselor, I can also make recommendations. But I'm so proud of everything that you guys have done thus far.
Thank you.
So we're gonna move into what's called the Joshua Memorial, and I know that you all are spiritual. You attend church and things of that nature, so I feel like you guys will really, really like this. So being that this is our final session, we'll end with something meaningful. And this is an intervention called the Joshua Memorial. It's based on the story from the book of Joshua, where the people of Israel built a memorial to remember what God had done for them. So this is a physical reminder of growth and faithfulness. In the same way, this activity allows you to create a symbolic memorial of your counseling journey, something to remind you of how far you've come and what you've learned about each other. And I also want to emphasize this because you all are different people from when you first got married. Whether that's because age has changed you, experience has changed you, kids definitely will change you. So that's also something you want to keep in the back of your mind, that sometimes there comes a period in time where you have to relearn each other and reconnect. And I feel like you creating a memorial for yourself will be a wonderful way to kind of do that and to continue to stay connected. So some ways that you can do this, some couples write a letter to each other, some create a photo collage, others may make a small craft or choose an important object that represents their journey. The goal is not perfection, it's meaning and teamwork. So before we create a symbolic idea together, I'd like to invite you to reflect for a moment. What are a few key lessons or turning points you'll take away from this counseling experience?
Gosh, for me, it's been huge. Um, it's been huge. Just practicing and being intentional about making sure that I'm actively listening, not listening to respond or to react, but listening to understand what Malcolm is talking about.
Mhm. All right.
hmm For me, I learned that like being quiet and calm aren't quite the same thing. Um, Sometimes, I kind of shut down during stressful situations, like to avoid the conflict instead of, actually talking it out, and I think, you know, being able to stay calm but not shut down has really, helped us out a lot, and we've really benefited from that. And I think it helps us stay connected.
Wow, great. That's powerful insight from the both of you. You've moved from disconnection to intentional understanding, and that's definitely something to celebrate. Excuse me, don't take that lightly. That is a huge step. So, with all of this in mind, if you were to create a Joshua Memorial to represent this progress, a symbol that captures your teamwork, your faith, what might that be?
I think a good representation might be, something simple like just a photo frame
Yeah.
with like one of our favorite, family pictures, surrounded by, the words that describe what we've learned, like teamwork, patience, grace. Um, I think being calm
Mhm.
and determination, because you got to put your mind to it, and we were able to put our mind to it and actually work our way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
like that. Put your mind to it and work your way through it.
I like that.
Stubborn in a
Mhm.
good way.
A
Yeah.
Taurus?
Yeah. Yes. I like that. And maybe we could add a scripture to it about love, something about maybe love, perseverance, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a beautiful idea, and I feel like it's come together beautifully between knowing what it is we want, our descriptor words. We've even come up with a slogan for the family, so I'm all here for it. And then also in regards to scripture, one scripture that I enjoy is First Corinthians chapter 13. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. And so this is kind of what comes to mind. You can include that as a reminder of how you have chosen to persevere together. If you have another Bible verse that's better fitting for the family, of course, by all means. This is just one that comes to mind, when I think of you all. You could even write short notes to each other and tuck them behind the photo. You could do words of appreciation or encouragement that you can look back on later, when life kind of gets busy or if some problems begin to occur, anything like that. Sometimes just having a gentle reminder is all we kind of need to ground ourselves and kind of try to move on or move into a better place in order to deal with the situation. Or you sometimes you just have that realization moment. You're kind of like, that situation isn't worth me getting worked up over. That situation is, minuscule. So sometimes having those gentle reminders can really be beneficial. Um, and the key is that you want to create this together. Collaboration itself is part of the healing and strengthening process. And I feel like you guys will have no issues in creating your memorial. I think you guys pretty much got it all planned out.
Yes.
So I know you guys want to do the picture frame, the scripture. Um, what do you think this memorial, so the picture frame and all that, would represent for your marriage?
Um, for me, I I'm gonna say two things. I'm gonna say hope and choosing daily.
Okay,
That every day, you know, we choose each other. We choose our family in this life. Mhm,
wonderful. That's
mhm.
strong.
For me, I think it's commitment. I think it reminds us that, we're in this for the long haul. We're in it to the end. We didn't do it, halfway do something. And we didn't do it because it was going to be easy. We did it because we think it'll be worth it.
Mhm.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Even if you wanted to use that as a gentle reminder that it's not going to be easy, but it's worth it. If you find a way to incorporate that, maybe you get a giant picture frame, have two frames. But I definitely think that's something that should be included in you all's memorial. Um, and that was definitely beautifully said, you all. So just remember, every time you see it, I hope it reminds you that you can communicate, reconnect, and rebuild, not because everything is perfect, but because you've practiced love in action. So as we close today, unfortunately, our time together is coming to an end. But as we close today, I want to thank you both for your honesty, your willingness to grow throughout these sessions. I know we've hit on some rough spots, and you face these difficult emotions with openness and faith. Um, Thank you for trusting me and allowing me to help you as best as I can. And before we finish, I just want to give you each the opportunity to share a word or a phrase that captures what this counseling journey has meant to you.
Wow. Okay. I would say for me, uh, a renewal. A
All right.
renewal. Mhm.
And kind of just to sum everything up, like in that one word kind of way, it'd have to be hope.
Hope and renewal. And those are meaningful words. Renewal and hope are two powerful themes that define not just where you've been, but where you're going. And I
Mhm.
encourage you to continue using your gratitude journals, practice your communication tools, and revisit your Joshua Memorial whenever you need to remember how far you've come. It's been a privilege walking alongside you during this session. You've done the work, and I believe the seeds you've planted here will continue to grow. Before we leave, I just want to give some words of encouragement to you all, a small prayer, as I know that you all are religious and biblical, so I feel like it'll be okay to kind of do that and have that here if you both are comfortable with that.
Yes.
So I'm so thankful that God guided us to each other, Malcolm and Ursula, through this process of healing and growth. I have seen such a profound change in you both. Continue to learn and grow with one another and use patience, understanding, and grace towards each other. I pray God continues to bless your marriage with peace, perseverance, and love that endures all things. As well as I hope that you find peace and content while you both are on your own spiritual journeys. Thank you both again. You've completed this series with dedication and heart. It was a joy to have you both as my clients. All right.
Thank you
Until
so
next
much.
time,
Thank you.
it was a pleasure, you all.